Welcome back to the channel. Are you thinking about streaming, but you think it's going to be too expensive? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can get started for under 40 bucks. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's go over the items that you're going to need to start streaming. Now, I will admit that a lot of these items that you're going to need, I'm assuming that most people have. Okay, so the first item is obviously going to be a computer. You're going to need a computer that it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I'm going to use this laptop. I bought this back in 2016. I think it's got like an i5 7th gen Intel CPU. Really, the only thing you need to make sure you have is it's got to have a USB 3.0 port, because that's what you're going to use to import your video from whatever game you're playing. So that's item number one. You're going to need a computer, whether it's a laptop. If you have a desktop PC, even better. But item number one, you need a computer. Item number two is you're going to need a console. Doesn't have to be a PlayStation 5. It can be any console that has an HDMI output. Whether it's an Xbox, an old PlayStation, I think even the Nintendo Switch has an HDMI output. So again, I'm assuming most people are using a console to play games, and that's what you're going to be using when you start streaming. Again, you don't need anything fancy, just an old console. I mean, I just happen to have my PlayStation 5 here, but you can use a PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4, you can still play games like Apex Legends, Warzone, and so on. So any console, again, that has an HDMI output, you can use. I forgot to mention on the computer, you're going to be using OBS Studio. That's the free software that you're going to need to download, install, get that going. I do have a beginner's guide on using OBS Studio, so I'll put that in the description box down below, and you'll see the card show up at the top. Okay, so we've got the two biggest items covered. Now let's talk about what do we do for a microphone. Well, most people have a set of headphones, whether it's your smartphone that came with a set of headphones. As long as it has a microphone, you can use them. Okay, I think I bought these like a year ago. They were like $5. They're pretty decent, but again, any set of headphones that you have that have a microphone, you can use. The audio obviously is not going to be great, but it'll get you started. And one thing I will mention about the 3.5 millimeter jacks is they're not all the same. So if you look at the pins here, the pin on the end, you'll see that there's 4 different sections, and that tells you that this is both a headphone and a microphone. So on the side of your computer, you're going to need to check and see what kind of a headset jack you have. Now, most computers will have a separate 3.5 millimeter jack for the headphones, and then they'll have a separate 3.5 millimeter jack for the microphone. If that's the case, you're going to need a splitter that looks like this. And basically what you do is you plug your headphones into the splitter, and then you can now plug each of these into the respective ports. One for your mic, one for the headphones. this laptop happens to have the single port that I can use for both, so I don't need this. My desktop also has the dual port for both the headphones and the microphone. So it just depends on what you have, the hardware that you have. So that covers the microphone. Now, what are we gonna do for a camera? It's a good idea to have a camera so that your viewers can interact with you. So again, I'm assuming most people have a smartphone, and you can use the camera on your phone, and I will show you how to set that up. Again, it's not going to be the greatest quality, but it's actually not that bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good for what it is. So this will cover the webcam part of it. Now, the one item that you will have to purchase that I'm assuming that most people will not have is a capture card. I picked this up from Amazon for about 34 bucks. I'll put a link in the description for this particular one, but there, you can search around. You're going to find hundreds of these, and they all look the same. They're probably all made by the same company. If you don't mind waiting, you can actually find them for less than half the price on sites like wish.com or AliExpress, places like that. But again, there's a really long lead time for those. If you want something that's quick, you can get these on Amazon again for about 35 bucks. They come with all the cables you need. They come with the HDMI. Comes with one HDMI cable and then the USB cable. And again, USB 3.0. It has to be USB 3.0. And they do have the headphones and the microphone inputs on here as well. So they do support if you want to use something like the game chat. So this is the one item that you will have to purchase. Now, there's a lot of things that would be nice to have, but they're not necessary. This is the bare bones of what you need to get started. What would be an item that would be nice? Something like a phone stand. That way you can set up your camera, and you don't have to try and prop it up against something and have it fall down while you're streaming. You may not notice it for a while. So this thing is a super cheap phone stand that I bought, I don't know, like 2 years ago, and it does a job. I mean, it's just a spring-loaded clamp on a little crappy tripod, but it works. The other item that I think would be nice to have is a monitor. If you have an external monitor that you can use to play, that would be ideal, because you can use the screen on your computer, on your laptop. You will have the game that you're playing on the screen, but number one, it's going to be really small, right? Because you have all the other stuff in your OBS Studio layout. And then two, there's going to be a bit of a delay. So when you make an input on, say, your controller, it's gonna take some time before you actually see it refresh on the screen in your OBS Studio. So if you have a monitor, I would say use it. You do have the ability to run a cable from the capture card to an external monitor. That way you avoid that lag, that latency problem. So there we go, guys. That is all you need to get started. And now I'm going to show you how to set everything up on this laptop so that you can see that it is possible to get going for under 40 bucks. So let's check it out. All right, so let's get our phone set up so that we can use it as a webcam. So we're going to go to the App Store, and we're going to download an app called Iriun. Should be this one here that shows up at the top. It's got a little blue background with a little white webcam. I'm going to download that. So it's been downloaded. Okay, so there it is. So we've got our phone. We've got the app installed on the phone. So now let's download the same app on the PC, on whatever computer you're using to stream. So let's switch over. I'm going to turn this off and go over to the browser. Again, just search for Iriun webcam and you should see it pop up. Should be the first link there. I'll have all these links in the description, by the way. And we're going to want to get, obviously this is a Windows machine, so they do have support for Mac, but I'm going to download this webcam for Windows. You might get this warning saying, hey, this might be a harmful file. We're just going to say keep because we know what it is. And it'll download an executable. You'll open that. Say yes, you want to allow the app to make changes. And we should get the installation window here in a sec. Okay, so here we go. Here's the license agreement. You can skim through that, hit I accept. Number of cameras, we're just going to leave it at one because we're just using our phone. We'll hit next. If you want to change the installation location, you can do that here. Next, and then just click on install. Again, this PC is about 6 years old, so it's a little slow, but there we go. We've got it installed. We're going to leave this box checked so it'll start the webcam server. We'll hit finish. And the only thing you need to get this to work with your computer is you need to make sure that you're on the same network. Your computer can be wired, so you can have an Ethernet plugged in, and your phone can be wireless. As long as you're on the same network, it'll work. Okay, so now we've got this box here that comes up. I'm gonna minimize this window here. Bring this over here. So we've got this window that pops up. So now we're gonna open our phone. We're going to open the app. Here, let me put the phone back on. Move this window out of the way. Put it over here. That. We're going to open the app. And I'm going to have to resize it just because it's so big. Do this here. So now it's saying Iriun webcam would like to find and connect to devices on your local network. You're going to have to hit OK because that's how you're going to connect it to your computer that you're using to stream. So hit OK. It's going to ask you, can Iriun access your webcam? Say yes, OK. And then last, can Iriun have access to the microphone? Just hit OK. So there we go. We've got our webcam working. And we're going to add it. So you can see it on this screen here because this is my other computer, but I'm going to show you how to add it into OBS. I just wanted to demonstrate this to show you guys how easy it is to set it up. I literally had to do nothing. Like I said, the only thing you have to make sure is you're on the same network for your computer and your phone. Okay, so let's now add the webcam to our streaming laptop. I'm going to put my phone down here. I'm going to move this off the screen now. And then I'm going to move this window. Minimize that. Okay, so here we are. We've got a brand new OBS layout with no scenes, nothing added, right? This is brand new. The first thing we're going to add is we're going to add our webcam. So we'll go, we're just going to use this scene that's added here by default. We'll go over to the sources here, click the plus sign, and we're going to add a video capture device. You're going to call it whatever you want. I'll just say webcam. And by default, if your computer has webcam, which this one does, it's going to use that by default. But you want to change that to the Iriun webcam. So there we go. That is now the phone that you're seeing on the screen. I'm going to put that back down. And let's go down here. You want to change the resolution. You want to match that to the screen resolution that you have. So we're going to say resolution FPS type. You want to set it to custom. And then the resolution, you want to set it to 1920 by 1080 because that's what our native OBS resolution is set to. And now you see that it's taken up the entire window. For FPS, you can click on that and you can just say match output FPS. That'll just match whatever the app is outputting. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll scroll down. And okay, we'll hit okay here. So right now we've added the webcam to our scene and now we have to resize it. So let's make this smaller. And remember, I'm on a laptop, so I'm using the touchpad. So this is a little. I'm gonna try and move this so that my other webcam isn't blocking it. So there is the webcam that we've added, and we're using our phone. The cool thing about this app is I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna put this back on the screen. And I want you guys to see that you have the ability to use both the rear facing camera or the front facing camera. It also has the ability to flip the image vertically. And the best part is you can actually use the light. I'll do this so you guys can see. You can use a light on your phone to make yourself brighter. So those are the cool things, the features. Again, this app is totally free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to sign up for it. You don't have to, put your email, nothing. You guys saw me do this live. So, okay, so we've got the webcam set up. I'm going to turn this back off. The next thing we want to set up in our OBS Studio is our mic. So again, I'm just going to use these cheap $5 headphones. I'm going to plug these in. And like I said earlier, I have a dual port on this laptop, meaning I can plug in these headsets into a single 3.5mm port, and it'll output audio to the headset, and it'll take in audio from the mic. All right, so now I'm gonna pop these in my ear. Okay, so let's go in here and add our microphone. Again, we're going to go to the sources box, plus sign, select audio input capture. We're going to name it just mic. Okay. And then you're going to have to select from this drop down. Notice that you do have the option of adding the Iriun webcam microphone, because we did allow our phone, we did allow the app to use the microphone from the phone. But for this, you know, because the phone's going to be pretty far from where you are sitting, you don't want to use that microphone. You're going to use the microphone, at least for me, is in the front panel. So we're going to select this one. Select OK. And see if we can expand this. Okay. All right, so you can see that now the audio mixer is showing levels coming from this mic. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tap on it. So now we're using the audio from these cheap headphones. We're using the video from our phone. Now I'm going to put it in my little cheap phone stand that I showed you guys earlier. This little tripod. And I'm going to face it forward. See? All right, that's good enough. Good enough for now. All right. The last thing we want to do is we're going to need to put our game video and audio into our OBS. So for that, you're going to have to hook up your capture card. We talked about this earlier. You're going to need a USB cable. And again, these cables come with the capture card. And you're going to need an HDMI cable. So USB, HDMI. So let's go and hook this up. Okay, here we go. So I've hooked up the capture card to my PlayStation. So now we just have to add that into our sources. So we're going to click the plus sign. And this is going to be a video capture device. We can just name it capture card. Hit OK. You'll get this window. Again, it defaults to my webcam because I have a webcam on my laptop. But we're going to select USB video because that's the default name for the capture card. And scroll down here. Again, from this resolution FPS type, we're just going to select custom. We're going to make sure that this matches our native resolution, 1920 by 1080. We'll leave this on match output FPS. And we'll hit OK. So there we go. You should be able to see the game being shown in the background. Now you'll notice my webcam disappeared when we added, and that's because the order that you have these things in your sources matters. So because my capture card source is above my webcam, it's hiding the webcam because the webcam is behind it or below it. So what we have to do is you have to move the webcam to be higher than your capture card. So there we go. We've got our video from the capture card. We've got our mic coming in from this cheap headset. And we've got our video that we're using our cell phone to get. So that's it. That's all you need. We can start the game. Just hit continue here. Load in the game so you guys can see in real time that this is actually working. Okay, so I've moved my camera, my webcam, down to the bottom left of the screen. And one of the things that I forgot to mention is when you add a video source, it adds a audio source automatically. So when I added a webcam, it added a webcam audio source. And when I added the capture card, it also added a capture card audio source under this audio mixer. However, you'll notice that there's no sound coming through the capture card. I don't know why this happens, but the only way to get audio from the capture card is you have to add a separate audio input capture. So I'm going to call it capture card audio. And then here in the drop down, you're going to select the one that says USB digital audio. Then you're going to hit OK. And then, so here is the audio input source that we just added. And you can actually see that now it is picking up the audio from the console. However, I still can't hear it in my headphones. The way to fix that is you go over to this little gear icon. You go to advanced audio properties. And then for this capture card audio, you want to change that to monitor and output. That way you can also hear it in your headphones. So we'll go ahead and close out of this box. And if you guys want to hide these audio sources that really aren't doing anything, you can right click on them and just say hide. Same thing with the webcam. I'm just going to go ahead and hide it. Okay, and there we go. We've got our webcam using our phone. We've got our microphone from this cheap pair of headphones. We're using our cheap $35 capture card. And we're using a 6-year-old laptop to put this all together and to stream. So I'm going to show you guys with the phone. So there is the laptop that I'm using to put it into OBS. And there is the cheap capture card that I'm using. So I'm just going to take a quick recording here. I'm going to hit start record. And I'll show you guys, I'll actually put this video from the laptop into the final video so you guys can see what the audio levels sound like, you know, what the microphone from this headset sounds like. Obviously, it's not going to be the best. We're using the webcam from the phone. We're only outputting 30 frames per second, so there's going to be a bit of a lag. The colors, like I mentioned, don't look the greatest because we're using a cheaper capture card when you compare it to, say, an Elgato card that costs, you know, 5 times as much. So really, you know, at the end of the day, we're streaming for a very, very low amount of money, and you know, it really, it doesn't look that bad, honestly. I mean, you guys will be the judge. You guys will see what it looks like, what it sounds like, and again, all this for just 35 bucks. And I'll show you guys, I'll actually put this video from the laptop into the final video so you guys can see what the audio levels sound like, you know, what the microphone from this headset sounds like. Obviously, it's not going to be the best. We're using the webcam from the phone. We're only outputting 30 frames per second, so there's going to be a bit of a lag. The colors, like I mentioned, don't look the greatest because we're using a cheaper capture card when you compare it to, say, an Elgato card that costs, you know, 5 times as much. So really, you know, at the end of the day, we're streaming for a very, very low amount of money, and you know, it really, it doesn't look that bad, honestly. I mean, you guys will be the judge. You guys will see what it looks like, what it sounds like, and again, all this for just 35 bucks. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I've inspired some of you, if you guys are thinking about streaming, to, you know, go out there, get yourself an inexpensive capture card, try it out, see if you like it. You know, I've enjoyed streaming. I've been streaming for a while now. I've enjoyed building a community and having, you know, that interaction with people. So I hope I inspire some of you to try it out, you know, see if you like it. And, you know, if you go down this path, you're not going to spend a lot of money. So I hope you guys like the video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I reply to everybody. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.